Hello and welcome to the Pen and Heal podcast. I'm your host, Javeria Fatma Zaidi, and I'm the founder of Pen and Heal. As an expressive writing life coach, I specialize in empowering highly sensitive women to reach their goals by using the transformative power of expressive writing. I'm thrilled today to introduce a very special guest. She is a mindful parenting coach. She works with mothers, and her name is Hina Farhan. I had the pleasure of meeting Hina when I was doing the Parents and Teachers Certificate course from ERDC, Pakistan. Whenever we would have a class discussion, I would wait for Hina to raise her hand because she seemed to have these insights. And I loved her answers. I loved how deeply she looked at things. So, of course, I loved listening to her. I loved talking to her. And so it made sense for me to invite her onto my podcast. Hina, let's start and let's invite and welcome Hina onto the show. Assalamu alaikum, Hina. How are you feeling?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm feeling good. And thank you so much for inviting me and for this brief introduction. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I'm just going to silence my phone. Actually, I haven't done that. So we'll start off in English, but because both of us are Pakistanis and, Urdu is our first language, that if that's what we feel comfortable in, if that's what we feel more comfortable in, we can definitely, switch to Urdu. It's fine. It's not an issue.
Sure.
So just before this recording began, we were just chatting about, we were talking about motherhood and obviously social media, and we ended up on the topic of Palestine. Now, today, at the time of recording, it is 16th of November, 2023. It's been a month and a half since Palestine has been under horrendous attack. And we cannot even imagine what the mothers of Palestine are going through. Hina, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yeah, mothers in Palestine seems like shattered, but they are too much, they have resistance, they have too much resistance.
Yeah,
They are very, very much like thankful to Allah,
yeah,
which I saw everywhere. They are only saying Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah.
yeah,
And when I compare myself to them, I say like I am complaining most of the time. All of the time I'm complaining. I don't have this. My child is crying. My child is not eating, and he's not sleeping, and whatever the problems are in motherhood. This seems like a bigger problem. And when we see them, I am like too much thankful. When my baby comes to me and asks me that I want to eat something, and before that Palestine issue, I was like, what is it? Every time you're asking for something. And now I'm saying, Alhamdulillah, I have food to give it to him.
yeah,
I can cook. I have my home. I have my kitchen. Alhamdulillah. The
yeah,
gratitude which comes from them, that is the most learning point for ourselves. And we cannot see them. We cannot even feel their pain. The pain we are feeling is just a little, very little percentage. We cannot feel it until we are in their shoes, and we cannot do that. May
yeah,
Allah keep us away from them, and may Allah help them and ease their pain. They are the chosen
yeah,
people.
yeah.
I feel
They
that
really
they are the
are.
chosen people.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We can see that. How can the chosen people not be the ones who are constantly thanking God in every situation? How can it be that God chooses a people and asks them to oppress others? That is just not possible.
Not possible.
It's interesting how the central point of everything that you said was gratitude and being grateful. And do you think that has a bearing in parenting? Do you think being grateful is related to parenting?
Too much,
What would
too
you
much.
say about that?
Yes, of course. When we are grateful, our problem seems very small. Otherwise, we think that all the problems which we have is a lot of problems, and we are in the problems all the time, and Allah
Yeah,
doesn't love us. This is also uh, a thought which comes to our mind when we are depressed or we are very much like anxious and all that. When we are not in a good mood, we think Allah doesn't love us. Why all of these is happening with me? Why
mm,
I have this child who's cranky? Why my child doesn't sleep? We have a
yeah,
lot of whys. But when we are being grateful, then we say, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I have a good child. Alhamdulillah, Allah made him perfectly fine. And there are so many things which we can be grateful of.
yeah,
Alhamdulillah, Allah thought that Allah gave us this blessing. We are the
That I was
blessed ones.
considered worthy of becoming
Yes,
a mother.
exactly. Allah
Yeah,
thought that I am a worthy person and I am the one who will raise this child.
yeah,
How this child will become, like when he will grow up and he'll become an adult, how this child will be is destined for me. I will be the one who will treat him, how I will parent him, how I will nurture him. It's all upon me.
yeah.
And
And
Allah,
that's amazing and scary in equal measure, isn't it?
exactly. It is scary because it scares us to the core that we are answerable for that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not just Allah has given us and okay, take it as a gift and enjoy and do what you want.
yeah,
Beat him or scold him or whatever,
yeah,
bribe him, whatever you like. It's not like
yeah,
that. It's
yeah,
our responsibility as well.
exactly. And it's so interesting that, you've mentioned all of these things, hitting a child, bribing a child. That's so very common, unfortunately. Before we go deeper into parenting, I know that, because we've been on the course together, I know that you're new to homeschooling. So we'll
Yes.
digress, we'll go through the homeschooling way into parenting.
Okay.
How's that journey been, being new to homeschooling? And obviously homeschooling is, that increases the amount of time that you're parenting your children, and the amount of time you're spending with them. So just tell us about that.
Homeschooling journey is very new to me,
Mm.
and I was not ready for this. Sure, very true. I was not ready for it, but my children were ready. That's very
Okay.
interesting. I met a counselor, a parenting counselor in
Mm.
Pakistan, and she told me that okay, I heard your story. Now I want to meet your children. So
Okay.
we went there as a family. She met my children. She talked to her, talked to them, and she said to me that they are almost ready. Why are not you ready? Why don't you want to be a homeschooling mom? I said I
Mm.
have a lot of fears,
Yeah.
and I think I can't do. Then she told me that there is nothing you cannot do. You can do. When your team is ready, why aren't you? I said, okay, that's that's the thing which I need to, I asked them that why are you ready? Why do you want to be homeschooled? And
Mm.
the answers were amazing. They said that we get tired at school. We
Right.
get very less hours of study. And when we come back home, we have to study a lot. As my children are of mixed ages, one is 15 years old, other is 13 years old, and the two are little, they are very little. One is 3 year old and other one is 7.
Okay. Wow.
So I have
Proper
very
mixed
mixed,
bag.
yes.
Yeah.
So I was very much confused that what shall I do?
Yeah.
But Alhamdulillah, Allah has better plans. My children, the elder ones, made their own plans. They said that we will take tuitions and we will do our O levels, and you do not worry, we will not do anything at home, and we will not make any fuss and everything. Okay, we will not fight because these were my fears that I
Yeah.
won't be able to go outside as I used to enjoy my own time in the morning. I won't
Yeah.
be able to do that.
Yeah.
But then, Alhamdulillah, they were very helpful. They were very cooperative. And now, still, they are cooperating with me a lot, a lot. Like, I have not imagined
Yeah.
that Allah will make it so much easy for me. I have never imagined. I thought it will be very tough. And now
Mm.
it's not that tough. So it's going very easy and fun. They are studying as well.
Of
And we
course.
have specific times that,
Mm.
okay, this is the time for study, and that's it. Other
Mm.
than that, we are not studying all the time. It's not school at home. It's like homeschooling. And my focus is more on their emotional needs, their physical needs, and their, better communication skills. And we get more bonding, our family bonding. And we have switched to family goals now. We have taken a
Mm.
step further and we have moved to the family goals. Before we were trying to achieve our own goals. I was in my own goal, I have my own race. Okay, these are my goals. My husband was, these are my goals. And we make plans for children that these are your goals and these are your goals. And now, after 2 months, we decided to take a step further and make a family goal, which is our ultimate goal.
Wow. Yeah.
So now we are working on it and we are enjoying it as well. Alhamdulillah.
That's amazing. You've shared a wealth of knowledge there. I'm just trying to sort of pull everything together. It's so amazing. So you weren't ready for being a homeschooling mother, but your children were, and you
Yes.
took the plunge, and alhamdulillah, it's been as it sounds, it's been an amazing journey, and I hope it continues to be amazing, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah,
And
inshallah.
it's really encouraging to hear that the older children were able to take responsibility for their studies, and so that didn't create a burden on you. They
Yes,
decided that this is what we want to do, and this is how we'll do it. And I assume you facilitate and you help them where needed, but you don't need to micromanage them, as perhaps
yes,
your fear
exactly.
was.
What I
Okay,
do is I just take responsibility of their routine. Okay,
right.
this is your class time, and I should be able to wake them up and make food ready and everything. This is
Yeah.
only my responsibility. But
Yes.
breakfast I don't make. I only make
Mm.
lunch and dinner.
Oh,
They
I
make
see.
their own breakfast, and they rather make my breakfast as well.
Oh, that's so
So,
sweet.
and Alhamdulillah, we have distributed all the house chores as well
Okay,
to everyone according to their age, and they are doing it. Alhamdulillah. So
that is
for me,
brilliant.
it's like very much fun because now I am only cooking. The
Mm.
only thing I have to do is cooking. That's it. And they do the laundry, and they are folding everything, laundry, washing, dishes. They are doing it
Yeah,
all. I'm
as
not
it
doing
should
it
be. The whole
anymore.
house is now able to pitch in, as it should be.
Yes. Yeah,
It was never meant to
exactly.
be just one person running the entire household.
Exactly.
And you also mentioned that homeschooling is not school at home. I mean, I
Exactly.
love that. As a home educator myself, I love that. I
Yeah,
love that you're so new to this, but you have this knowledge. And I feel like PTCC probably contributed to that. Like that was helpful in that regard.
exactly. It must be,
Yeah,
but it will be funny, but it is. When we were on a homeschooling, chapter, something like that, we were on that module of homeschooling. I
yeah.
used to listen with my ears closed because that time I used to say to myself, "This is not my area. Na?
Mm,
Don't want to do that, and I'm not interested in this anymore. Of course, I'm not going to
yeah.
do homeschooling. Why should I listen it?
Mm,
Why should I study it?" And I was just whenever that area comes, and I was like, okay, now I have a relaxing mode. I was always like that in PTCC
yeah.
class, but I don't know how it went into my subconscious mind, or maybe my husband was ready for it for a long time.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yes, he wanted
That's
for a long
interesting.
time. He was
Is it?
into this, that let's start homeschooling. I was, no, I cannot keep my children home and shout on them and beat
Mm,
them and make them study, or
mm,
I cannot break my relationship or something like that by
yeah.
keeping them home. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
let them go.
Yeah. That was your fear
But
that if you kept them home, you would become a traditional parent.
no,
But
it
I
was
mean,
not only fear.
maybe,
I used to
yeah.
do this, I used to do
Okay.
this. But I worked on myself after
Mm,
doing a lot of self development courses. Even I took coaching for that, and I was attached with a coach. I was learning it, how to balance everything, how to keep myself calm, and everything was like I learned. I I did a lot of hard work for that. Almost after 3 years, I can say that I am able to keep them for a long time, and I enjoyed their company as well.
yeah.
So it
So,
was
I mean,
not easy.
it doesn't sound easy, yeah. Which actually segues perfectly into, what I wanted to ask next. So, I was really curious to know about your journey to becoming a mindful parenting coach. And I feel like you've hinted at that already through the answers that you've given. Would you give us a deeper look into what that looked like?
Can you come again with your question? Like,
Yes.
repeat your
So,
question.
yes. So, what you were telling us, like, just now, is that you had this experience where you felt that you weren't doing the best that you could as a mother. You worked on yourself, and now you are a homeschooling mother and you have your children at home, and you are able to sort of do the kind of mindful parenting that you always wanted to do. And that
Yes.
connects very well to the question that I had in mind. I was curious to know how you decided to become a parenting coach, right? How did you decide to begin working with mothers? And I feel like you already have hinted at some of that
Hmm.
with what you've said. But if you'd be comfortable, we'd love to know deeper.
Okay.
How did you end up being a mindful parenting coach?
Okay. So I'll start from the beginning. I
Yeah.
started coaching for myself and for my self development, for being a good mom and everything, which
Mm.
everyone wants to be. Then further, uh, I think a year later, my coach uh, approached me that, do you want to become a life coach? I said, no. Like, why should I become a life coach? I don't want to be. No, you could be. And I know you could be a better coach because you have great experiences and you can be. Just try it. I said, okay, I'll do it. I just went to that training for myself. I said, I will not do it professionally. I told her, I will not do it professionally. I will not do anything. And she said, okay, fine. Just do it for yourself. Like, I'll do it. I did that training for, I think, around 4 months training. That was, I gave my exams for life coaching and I got my certificate, okay, life coaching. And after that, I started loving it. I said, no, I
Mm.
want clients because after very like, just finishing my course, we have to do clients. I think, what do you say? I forgot that word from uh,
Practice clients, do you mean?
practice and also that starts with B. We do free coaching sessions.
Pro bono.
Pro bono, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That word. So we have to do that. I was
Yeah.
doing that and I started loving it. When I saw the people are changing and they are like giving me prayer. They are like very thankful to me that you gave us this, you shift the angle of watching that. Okay, now look at that side, look at this side. And people were getting help. And I felt very good at that point that, okay, no, I think I should do it. Then I
Mm.
started working with new moms as I went through that challenge very
Mm.
recently. So I thought it's a good idea to start with working with new mom. But then
Mm.
it didn't hit very well. I changed my niche. I did some parenting courses and I thought now I need to do this mindful parenting because I think I can do better at it.
Yeah.
I'm better at it.
Yeah.
And people who wants this is like parenting at early age is very important. I feel that because I told you I have mixed children, right? So I started coaching only 3 years back. That means my little one was just born, and I already have older children as well.
Yeah.
So I felt that parenting at early childhood is important to learn. When your
Yeah.
children grow up, it's like 12 years or 11 years or 13 years, almost time is past. The time with nurturing and enabling creativity is almost past. So
Yeah.
I decided to work on this area, and Alhamdulillah, I have clients, and now I'm enjoying my journey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can see you're clearly passionate about this because you didn't give up. You went through the process yourself. Then you worked with new mothers, and then you sort of transitioned into working with mothers in general, right? So,
Yes.
what would you say are the most common challenges that you see in your work that mothers face?
The most challenges for mothers, the common challenge is overwhelming, feeling of
Overwhelm, yeah.
overwhelming. They are very much tired all the time,
Mm,
or they don't get proper sleep. They don't prioritize themselves.
okay.
This is the common challenge because they don't prioritize themselves.
Yeah.
They are not taking proper sleep, proper nutrition, their multivitamins and everything. They're putting them aside and taking care of the child all the time, which
Yeah.
is not recommended. Like you
Yeah,
cannot do it
absolutely.
all the time.
Now
You
that
will
you mention
feel
it,
burnout.
yeah. Now that you mention it, I've just remembered that I have not taken my multivitamins in a long time. So thank you for the reminder. Please. Yeah.
So, so it's this is the common challenge for every mom, and then
Yeah.
they feel angry all the time, and then uh, you know, Alhamdulillah, I have 5 to 6 clients at the moment, and we are working on different challenges for everyone. But
Yeah.
the common challenge, the common thing which they all are working on is time management.
Mm,
Everyone tells me that we want to learn time management,
yeah.
and I think we need to learn it from the very early age. We don't learn it, and we don't teach our children that how to manage your day. Actually,
Yeah. That's very
we
true.
don't teach them. So when we grow up and we get married, when we have children, it's all comes suddenly. You never know. Marriage is always a fantasy. We are
Yeah.
getting married and we will become a bride and we'll look beautiful and everything. You don't know that what comes next.
Mm. All of the
So
responsibilities and all of the work
yes.
that goes into that.
So we
So
need to teach
it's,
our children,
we
educate our
do.
children. Mhm.
Yeah. So what are you, if I may, because to people who are listening in now, I'm sure that the question in their mind is, as is similar to me. So How do you teach your clients time management? Are there any specific tools that you use? Can you share some, some key insights? Um, I'm sure that your guidance differs from person to person depending on their unique journey. But just in general, how can a regular mom who is obviously overwhelmed, she's burned out, and she's angry and stressed out, where does she begin with learning time management?
The first thing is sleep routine. When you go for the time management, first make your sleep routine. When
Okay.
your sleep routine is good, that means you are able to manage your time. You are
Mm,
able to sleep early and you wake up early. You have a lot of time in your day. What
yeah,
happens actually? Mothers go to sleep at 3 o'clock in the night, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., because we were using our phones. Why?
yeah.
Why are you using your phone? Because this is our me time.
Mm,
This is not your me time. Like after 12 o'clock, what is the me time? You should be sleeping. In the
yeah.
me time, you should sleep because your sleep should be your priority. This is what you
Mm,
need. Your body needs it. And you're
yeah,
putting it aside and using the phone because this is our me time. I want to enjoy it. And
that
the
makes
rest
sense.
of the day, you are burning out. So the
Yeah.
very first thing I start working on is the sleep routine. When you
Wow.
make your good sleep, healthy sleep routine, you have ample of time in your day and you're not burnt out. You're not stressed because you
Yeah.
got a good night's sleep. And then, start with the to-do list and step by step we do things that, okay, now cross it. You have done it. You achieved it. Write your achievements, journal writing in that. It
Mm,
also helps. That what have you achieved in your day? Either it's
yeah.
just cooking, maybe. For a mom, it's like, what are their chores? Sending them to school, cooking food on time, or making, laundry ready, ironing the clothes. Everything should be on time.
Yeah.
That's their main
These,
concern.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, just write it down. If it is your task to do, write it down. That I have
Yeah.
done this, I have completed this, so that you feel a sense
Mm,
of achievement. I have
yeah.
achieved something in a day. Start
Yeah.
from that, and then you can grow.
That is amazing, Hina. That is really sensible, actionable advice for anyone who's listening in. And even for me, to be honest, I am an expert list maker, but I'm the most rubbish at sleeping on time. And I know that I attended one of your workshops, which was so interesting, and I learned so much from that. And even then, I had shared that my goal was to sleep earlier. That's something
Yeah.
that I still struggle with. Like literally last night, I was writing in my diary that I have a dinner coming up on Sunday, and so there's no question of sleep until Sunday. I'll begin
Oh my
sleeping on
God.
time from Monday. I literally wrote that in my diary last night. And what you're saying, I'm just reminded that there are so many studies that show that lack of sleep, that
Hmm,
affects your sleep quality, affects everything. It affects your weight loss. You hold on to more fat when you haven't had
exactly.
proper sleep. It affects your blood sugar levels. So a person who's had poor sleep, there's a page on Instagram called the Glucose Goddess. I think that's where I saw this, that a person who hasn't had a good night's sleep, they wake up and they have a regular breakfast, their blood sugar spike is going to be so much higher than a person who's had a good night's sleep. I mean, that is amazing. And of
Hmm,
course, with the energy and everything, I mean, you can make all of the lists in the world. If you don't have the energy to do them, they're
exactly.
only
You
going to
cannot
happen.
complete it.
Yeah.
And then what you will feel, what the feeling will be at the end of the day, I couldn't achieve anything.
Yes.
I'm a loser.
Yeah. And then you
Because,
get stuck in that vicious cycle.
exactly.
And it's
First,
amazing that you mentioned writing. Sorry, you were saying something?
no, no, you can carry on.
So it's amazing that you mentioned the writing because, obviously, as an expressive writing coach, I'm
Yes.
all about the writing. So tell me, what do you think? You've already mentioned journal writing, and you mentioned writing at the end of the day. What have I achieved today? I think that's brilliant. What do you think about writing and motherhood? How can writing help us become better parents? And do you use that? Um, do you guide your clients towards writing in any form?
Yeah, I do, but not all of them because everyone doesn't want to write.
Hmm.
Okay, so few people are agreed, okay, we will write, and few says that no, I can't write. That's
Hmm.
fine. If you can't write, just write simple words.
Hmm.
As I told you that what have you achieved? It's just very simple. Write 5 sentences, or if you want to gain self-worth,
Yeah.
I ask them just to write 5 things that you think that you're good at or your strengths. Just 5 things, just 5 words. That is the beginning of their writing. And when they feel accomplished, they feel good, they start writing for
Mm,
themselves. Otherwise, I just leave them on their own pace. Okay, you do whatever you like. But when they are overwhelmed, or there are thoughts which is like stopping them, which are stopping them to go move forward, like some
mm,
trauma or something, which is all, when there is some trauma, past traumas, it doesn't let us move forward.
yeah,
I hope that you can better understand that. It doesn't
yeah,
make us move forward.
yeah,
It always comes across whenever we are doing any chores, like we are cooking or we are ironing. These thoughts cross our minds without any
mm,
reason, and we are stuck in that. Then we start thinking about it for a long, long hours. Then
yeah,
it also affects our behaviors and our
mm,
feelings,
yeah,
right? So, and these thoughts are of no use.
yeah,
We don't need them at all.
yeah,
So what do we do? That okay, write it down. Whatever your thoughts are, just sit down with your journal at the
mm,
moment. Whenever your thoughts came across, just sit down, write them down, and tear it, crumble it, and throw it.
mm.
So that your
That,
actions tell your mind that you have to throw that thought into the bin. You don't need it anymore.
yeah,
You're just mental space is blocked with these thoughts. You need more mental space so that you
yeah,
can move forward, you can think better,
yeah,
and you need more space, as we need more space in our phones, in
yeah,
our laptops. We always clear space, right? So we
yeah,
need some space in our mind as well.
yeah.
So
I've
this is
actually
the
been
thing
making
I've
notes
tried.
when you're talking because you're sharing so many gems. I don't want to miss any of this.
Thank you so
And
much.
I know that it's being recorded, but it's something magical about writing. If you write something down, you won't forget it. So I've jotted down something. So I'm going to just repeat, I'm just going to clarify some things that you've said. And do correct me if I've misheard or anything. So you're saying that writing can help with self-worth. So you've suggested writing for self-worth because when you write at the end of the day, um, what you've achieved, then that obviously feeds into a positive self-image. And it's amazing what you said about people being stuck due to trauma. That is so true. And I can see that you customize your approach according to each person. And what you've just mentioned, that when you feel those thoughts coming up, you write them down and you tear up the paper and throw it away. And how those actions communicate to your brain that I am throwing away these thoughts. That is amazing. So I love how you have an understanding of the conscious and the subconscious. And I can see that,
Yeah.
any mother who works with you, she would be quite fortunate because you clearly understand things from having lived experience yourself and you understand it from the scientific perspective. And you're clearly able to explain these things in layman's terms to your clients, right?
Yeah. And I think that you can add more in this writing, as you're right expressive writing coach.
Yeah.
So share your uh, procedure as well. How do you work with writing?
Yeah, so I love giving prompts to people, right? I love making relationships because that's how my journey is a little
Mhm.
bit like that. For example, um, I didn't have a good relationship with myself. And
Okay.
through, years and years of therapy, I was able to sort of rectify that. And I realized that every place that I have an issue, whether it's with whether it's with my exercising, whether it's with my children, it always comes down to relationships. So that's where
Mhm.
I give prompts. And I'll try to understand what my relationship is with that thing. So for example, I used to want to exercise. I think I remained at the same weight for 5 years. The good thing about writing is that you have a record, right? I went back and I
Yeah.
looked at my stuff and I was like, and I realized that, oh my God, I've been trying to exercise and I've remained at the same weight for 5 years. And at that point, during those 5 years, and even before that, the journey had begun before that. But when I look back at the 5 years, when I was looking back, I had reached a point in my life where I knew that beating myself up over it isn't going to help. And so I thought, okay, how can I help myself? And I thought the reason that I can't exercise is because I don't have a good relationship with exercise. So I
Mm,
began because I used to hate exercise. I hated it. It didn't make me feel good. People say you feel more energetic. My husband is, he's fit and he loves, he's an athlete and he's all about the sports and he sells sports and he plays sports and he watches sports. So he was always like, but and it's exercise energizes you, and I was like, no, but it doesn't. It genuinely doesn't. It drains me. I hate it. I would do it. I would force myself to do it, and then I do it for a month or so, and then I'd leave, right? And at this point, when I realized I've been at this point for 5 years, I need to change something. And I thought, okay, you know what? Let me begin a relationship with exercise. Let me start off gently. And then, I began writing. I said, okay, what's my relationship with exercise? And I wrote about that. And I thought, well, I don't like exercise. Suppose if exercise was a person and it was in front of me, how would I befriend it? I couldn't go and, this is a person I don't like. I can't go and spend, an hour with this person every day. But I,
mm.
I don't like this. I don't want to do it. And then I thought, okay, what would I do? Suppose I know that this person just wants the best for me, but I don't get along with them. I would
Mhm.
start with maybe 5 minutes, and that's literally what I
Yeah.
did. And it sounds, and this is what I tell my clients actually, when you're trying to build a new habit, what is the smallest and easiest step that you can take consistently? And
Mhm.
sometimes they say, I don't know. So I tell them, write about it. And they start writing and they'll be talking about other things and other things. And they're like, oh, you know what? I could do this. And I said that, and I say to them that that's your gem. You found your step. When you begin writing and you access your subconscious mind,
Mm.
you have come to that step. It has come to you. You have your answers within you, but sometimes you don't see them. Writing
Yeah.
clears away that fog. And so I
Basically, you
began with
tap
5 minutes.
them.
Yeah.
So you actually tap them to find out their true potential.
Yes,
You
exactly.
help them. Okay, mashallah, your journey is also very beautiful, and I think there there is so much insight in your journey, which I would love to listen about it, as I don't know much about your journey and how you made relationship. These prompts, these
Yeah.
are excellent. I have never tried this, but
Try it.
I can try. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
try.
Because that's again like how you said about how you deal with the traumatic thoughts. That's something new for me. That's amazing. And how I deal with it is something different. So this way we can
Mhm.
learn from each other, and hopefully the
Exactly.
viewers who are watching this video, they can learn from this
They
because
can
that's
learn.
our whole point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this podcast, to give value to the people who are listening in. And it's so, Hina, it's amazing that you're able to customize your approach to everyone. And so now I would like to talk about highly sensitive women. I'm a highly sensitive woman. I work with highly
Okay.
sensitive women. So I'm always curious to know how other people view that label and how you would work with someone. Suppose I came to you and I told you that I'm highly sensitive and I'm facing these issues as a mother. Would you change anything in your approach? What would your response be?
Truly speaking, I have never got a chance to work with highly sensitive women,
Yeah.
so I cannot tell you the exactly what I have done or what I can do.
Yeah.
But my, the process of coaching is same for everyone.
Mm,
We take everyone through the process. We have some steps and we take them through. But the guidance we can customize. We can guide them
mm,
in a different aspects. Okay, you can, if you feel like this, now you see your emotions, your behaviors, and then we are better able to understand our client first. If I think I
mm,
can work that client, I'll go with them. Otherwise, sometimes I send them to other coaches. That if I'm not
mm.
able to do, I send them. That okay, I don't
Yeah,
waste your time and my time. Everyone's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there are some hopes and things. If I'm not able to handle it, I send them to someone who specializes in it. So
Mm,
that's why I have never tried. I have never got any clients like that, highly sensitive. And if you think
yeah.
that you come to me, and then again, I will start with smart goals. This is my
Mm,
strategy. Number one
yeah,
strategy: start with the smart goals and
yeah,
what fits for you, what's best
yeah.
for
What
you. You
fits
know
for you?
your
Exactly.
yes, because only the person is in front of us. He or she knows what is best for them. We are not the one who can decide. I cannot ask you to do this. It's perfectly all right for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do it for 2 or 3 days or a week or a month because my coach has told me, but then you will leave it.
You will leave it exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand yourself. What I can do is I can help you to understand yourself better so
So
that
you
you
can
can
help
come
your
to know.
client understand themselves better. That is really
Yes,
powerful. Yes. So it sounds to me like you're saying that the label doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if the person
exactly.
is highly sensitive or not. Your job is to understand the person and to realize whether you can help them or not, whatever that looks like,
Exactly. Exactly.
right? And you have the self-awareness that if you feel that you cannot help them, you will not continue working with them and you wouldn't waste their time and yours. You would signpost them to someone who can help them better, in your opinion.
Yes. And I do
Yeah.
this. I have done this
Yeah,
many times.
right.
That
Yeah, I
okay, I
think that kind
cannot
of
have.
integrity is really important and it shows your
Yeah,
honesty in your work, you know?
yeah. Because I have got a client who was who just came out of a trauma, and it was like she did suicide attack, and by chance she was alive,
Mm.
and she
Oh
came
my
to me,
gosh.
and it was very traumatic for me as well.
Yeah,
I was not able to sleep, and I was not able to process my emotions as well, and I thought that I'm not able to help this woman.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's not my job, and I can't do it because if I
yeah,
am not able to help myself in this journey, how am I able to help her? So I
yeah,
asked them that go to a psychiatrist or someone who can help you better. I am not the
yeah,
right person for you. And
yeah.
then she came back again. She said, "No, I want to be with you. I know you
Mm,
cannot help me, but I want to be with you. I'll go to the psychiatrist as well, but I'll continue coaching with you." I said, "Okay, that's your
mm,
decision. That's your own decision now."
yeah, yeah.
So Alhamdulillah, we got along, and she completed her 90-day plan with me. Alhamdulillah.
That's amazing. And it takes a lot of bravery to say that these are the limits of my ability, and beyond this, you
Yeah.
need some other help. And I'm sure that honesty resonated with her, and she felt a sense of comfort with you, which is why she came back. And
Yeah,
then she
maybe.
decided to work with you and the psychiatrist.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
That is
It
amazing.
was learning for me. It was
Yeah,
very good learning for me
yeah, for
because
sure.
it was my initial days of coaching, and I got this client,
Yeah,
and I couldn't say no. I wanted to learn, but at the same time, I don't want to do something, wrong with them. That okay,
absolutely.
this is my approach, and I'll do this, and you will get a lot of clarity. You will gain this,
Yeah,
this, and this. I cannot market myself like that.
of course, of course. Yes. You would rather be safe than sorry. And that's
Exactly.
it's really important to find coaches who have that level of integrity and honesty. Because unfortunately, when I entered the coaching industry, I saw that it can be quite predatory.
Mhm.
And in fact, a lot of trainers advocate preying on your clients' insecurities. Of course, they don't word it that. They don't say oh, prey on their insecurity. But that's what it is really. When they say, don't let go of a client or don't take no for an answer, or, you can work something out, you can do something. And that didn't sit right for me. It doesn't feel ethical. So it's really good to see that you as well are a really ethical and, really honest coach. I keep saying the word honest. I'm sorry for the repetition, but that's
No
what
problem.
comes to my mind. Honesty,
Yeah.
and that's so important. Just as we, begin to wrap up, what advice would you give to a parent, a mother who is listening and who is overwhelmed, burnt out, and she wants to begin on this path of mindful parenting? And, what would
Okay.
you say to her?
I would like to say that don't stop growing yourself every day.
Mm,
You can grow yourself every day. Every day there's an opportunity that you can grow yourself. You can be a better person the next day. And whatever your age is, whatever the responsibilities you're having, whatever challenges you have, there is you cannot say no, I can't. You can. There is a maybe a very minimum chance that you can change a little thing, a very little thing, but you can. There is a chance. But you have to identify that. Now, what is that one thing I can change in myself, in my surroundings? Because if we wait for something good to become, like, okay, if I will have the bigger house, I'll be happy.
mm,
No, your happiness lies inside you.
yeah,
So you have to find that. this is the one thing, and also remember that we are. Uh, oh shit, I want to beat it in Urdu because I read a hadith. It's like
Yeah.
मोमिन का हर दिन उसके गुजरे हुए दिन से बेहतर होना चाहिए.
Hmm.
So it kind of stuck in my mind, and like every day I'm working. Okay, what is better? What comes
Hmm.
next? And it should be better. Also we are हम जो है एक उम्मत की तरबियत कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, हम एक तरबिया का काम कर रहे हैं. हमारा काम छोटा नहीं है. हम बीइंग हाउस वाइफ कोई बहुत छोटा काम नहीं कर रहे, बहुत बड़ा काम है, क्योंकि हमारे साथ एक पूरी नस्ल तैयार हो रही है.
बिल्कुल.
बच्चों के साथ बाप का सिर्फ नाम लगता है, लेकिन तरबियत माँ की होती है.
Hmm.
तो अगर हमारी तरबियत अच्छी हो जाए, जैसे अल्लाह ताला ने हमें हुक्म दिया है, हम वैसा कर लें, तो हमारी नस्लें ठीक हो जाएंगी.
सही बात.
तो ये हमारा काम है, और इसके लिए हमें कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी. बहुत चैलेंजिंग है, इट्स नॉट इजी, बट वी
Yeah.
कैन. अल्लाह ने हमें इस काबिल बनाया है कि हम कर सकते हैं. सो डोंट फील योरसेल्फ कि हम नहीं कर सकते, और
Hmm.
ये बहुत मुश्किल है. इंशाल्लाह अल्लाह विल हेल्प एवरीवन.
Inshallah, inshallah. That is such a hopeful message, Hina. Thank you for that message. आपकी बात सुन के मुझे दो चीजों का ख्याल आया. एक तो एक book recommendation because I love books and if I can
यस.
remember a relevant book, I would love to recommend it. You spoke about happiness. There is a book called The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris. Have you read that?
नो आई हैवंट.
So that's an amazing book for anyone
ओके,
who,
आई राइट इट.
yeah, The Happiness Trap. Anyone who is struggling with not feeling happy, because I've been there. I've been there chasing happiness and I couldn't find it. That book is one of the books that changed my life. That and another one. And the second thing is, आपने एक बात की ना कि बाप का सिर्फ नाम लगता है लेकिन तरबियत माँ की होती है. उससे नस्लें बिगड़ सकती हैं या खुदा या इंशाल्लाह संवर सकती हैं. ये चीज़ मैंने पर्सनल लाइफ में अपनी देखी. हमारे कोर्स में आपको याद होगा, मैं अक्सर और बेशतर अपने ससुर का जिक्र करती हूँ, अब्बू ये अब्बू वो. अ,
बिल्कुल.
वो इतनी सारी बातें करते हैं. अच्छा, अब्बू कितने 60 odd years के हैं. अब्बू के बच्चों के बच्चे माशाल्लाह हो गए हैं कुछ सालों में. मतलब दादा से परदादा भी हो सकता है बन जाए इंशाल्लाह. अभी कुछ साल है लेकिन बहरहाल इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह अल्लाह को नसीब करे. तो वो कितनी सारी बातें बताते हैं, अच्छी बहुत ही ज्यादा काम की बातें, जिनकी वजह से मैंने उनको अपने मेंटोर के तौर पर लिया. वो बताते हैं कि ये मेरी वालदा की थी, ये मेरी अम्मी, ये मेरी वालदा ऐसे थी, मेरी वालदा मेरी वालदा. और वो कोई बहुत पढ़ी लिखी खातून नहीं थी, लेकिन इतनी हिकमत और इतनी समझदारी उनके अंदर है. जब वो मुझे बातें बताते हैं तो मैं यही सोचती हूँ कि अब्बू मतलब, एक तो ये कि काश मैं उनसे मिल सकती, कि मैं उनसे पूछती
बिल्कुल.
कि आपने कहाँ से सीखा ये. क्या पता उनको उनकी माँ ने या किसी और ने, मतलब कब से वो
बिल्कुल.
सिलसिला चलता आ रहा है, जो
हाँ.
आज जाके मतलब कौन सी हम चौथी नस्ल होंगे शायद, जिनको उनकी बातों का फायदा हो रहा है. और इंशाल्लाह ये
बिल्कुल.
कितना बड़ा सदका जारिया है अब्बू की
बिल्कुल.
अम्मी के लिए. और उनकी अम्मी को जिस किसी ने भी सिखाया, मतलब इट्स एन नेवर एंडिंग साइकिल.
एग्जैक्टली.
और
इट्स अ
इंशाल्लाह
चेन.
इंशाल्लाह अगर हम एग्जैक्टली इट्स अ चेन. और हम बस अल्लाह का हम इस काबिल बनाए कि हम ये फायदेमंद चीजें आगे पहुंचा सके, अपने बच्चों की बेहतरीन तरबियत कर सकें. दिस
बिल्कुल.
वाज दिस वाज सो इंटरेस्टिंग. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग ऑन.
एक चीज मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगी.
जी
एक
प्लीज.
दफा हमारे कोचिंग की इसमें मैं किसी से बात कर रही थी, और मैंने उससे कहा कि एम्पावरमेंट के ऊपर बात हुई थी. मैंने कहा आपका बच्चा जब बड़ा होगा और जब कोई कहेगा कि मैंने ये काम अपनी अम्मी से सीखा, हाउ वुड दैट फील? जब आप उसकी बच्चों की दादी होंगी और वो बताएगा कि मैंने अपनी मम्मा से ये चीज सीखी थी, मैंने टाइम मैनेजमेंट अपनी माँ से सीखा, मैंने ये काम अपनी माँ से सीखा, मैंने डिसिप्लिन अपनी माँ से सीखा, आप कैसा फील करेंगी? एंड शी वाज लाइक ओके, मैं बहुत अच्छा फील करूंगी. और मतलब ये ना, आप सातवां आसमान में चल जाते हैं. और फिर
बिल्कुल.
उसको ऐसा लग रहा था कि इज इट पॉसिबल? ऐसा ऑफ कोर्स इट इज. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज पॉसिबल. Because what all it needs is changing ourselves
Yeah.
right now. We have to work hard now, and then inshallah everything will be very easy.
इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह.
Okay. So thank you so much for having me. और
नहीं,
मुझे बहुत
थैंक
अच्छा लगा आपके साथ पॉडकास्ट करने में. माशाल्लाह, it was amazing. It was my first podcast ever.
यू. You were a natural, Hina. Alhamdulillah. I hope that we can have many more conversations. There were so many more rabbit holes that I wanted to go down with you. Inshallah, inshallah. I hope that we get a chance to do
Inshallah.
this again.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
we're
so
just going
much.
to end it now. Thank you.